Do we need to count down or?
Yes, from 27, please.
All right.
Damn, Daniel.
All right, here we go. You got a prop or what?
Let's see. Yeah, a little bit of this.
Two Kings Podcast.
All right, show and tell over. We're back.
I have 3 fidget spinners on my desk.
Yes. And did you bring enough for the rest of the class, Chris?
Yes, because there are 3 of us here today, Bradley. We're joined by a very special guest this episode. This man is some would call a doctor. Some would call a meme page. Some would call an author. And 3 people would call a brother.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
Man.
we have got my
Are
brother,
they able
Doctor.
to see chills on the video recording?
Yeah, we have a bar for that. Yeah.
Yes.
They're off the charts right now.
What are you doing, step bro?
We've got my older brother Kyle on the pod.
Hit the clap. Yeah, hit the claps.
Welcome to the show, my man.
Father of the number 1 nephew, the
I am
Echo
somewhat of a
Duck lover
nephew
himself.
myself.
Yeah, we need to chat about
Echo Duck origin.
Yes.
Been
Why are
meaning
you
to
letting
ask.
such a young child listen to such a vulgar show?
Well, he basically has like name vision. Like you'll know with kids, they don't seem to be listening until they hear the name. So he tunes you guys out until he hears Ben,
Oh,
Got
nephew,
perfect.
or the Echo Duck.
Oh, got it.
Okay, got it. All right. Hi, Ben.
What's up, buddy?
But I was thinking we could kind of take the podcast in a little 5D action.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna do a little something here for the boys. Hey, Benny, give me a high five right now. And I'll just give him a high five in real life. And it's like he's interacting.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit! All right.
Oh, Jackson,
so like
Charlie,
later on.
Okay.
Yeah, when it comes out, it's gonna be a real. We're gonna high five. Just
that's a high five for the future. Oh, Ben, let me get one.
Oh yeah. Give everybody one, Ben.
Can we get
Thanks, Ben. Thanks,
footage
Jaxie.
of that when it happens?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, cool.
Send it in.
All right,
Put it on
everyone
the
high
dash-
fives.
on the
High
dash
fives
cam.
abound.
Anyways,
Dash cam it up.
yeah, we've got my older brother Kyle on today to talk about season 2, episode 14. I Remember Mono.
It's a family affair on the show today. Did
Chris,
y'all? No,
didn't you
go
get mono, Chris? You had it in high school, didn't you?
I don't think so.
Are you kissing girls, dude?
No, I hurt my back.
I swear you had it.
I don't think I ever had mono. I was going to ask you the same thing because it didn't recall. Did we both get mono from each other?
Well, kissing brothers.
Whoa.
Things get weird in the Covey house.
What are you doing, step bro?
I mean, you remember me as a kid. I would kiss any ladies.
That's true.
Afro, very greasy.
Hey,
he was a greasy fellow.
I was a chubbler too. I didn't kiss nobody in high school.
Did you kiss your brother?
Didn't kiss my brother, no.
Oh, dang it. Come on, man. We need a backup.
Man.
That must be an Edmond, Oklahoma thing. Am I right?
Kyle's from Edmond.
We're all from
I'm
Edmond,
not.
aren't we, Chris?
Yeah.
You're about, you could reach out and touch Edmond if you wanted. You're that close.
And you do.
Mm-hmm.
And you will.
Yeah, you do. You do. That's how you got the mono.
Yeah, brother. Touching cities and rubbing titties.
In an order that would surprise you.
What was did you guys watch King of the Hill together as little babes, little baby boys? Or was it more
much? We shared a room for a super duper long time, and therefore we shared a TV for a very long time. So we were frequently watching a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, we kind of just had it stuck on Adult Swim and just played it, 6 hours a day. So if King of the Hill came on there, then it was on.
Family Guy, watch a lot of Spike TV.
Nice.
Back in the
Girls
day.
Gone Wild
Spike
commercials.
At
Oh,
3
man.
a.m. in the central time zone.
You know, we were sitting in that one of those fluffy bowl chairs, watching some blurred out, who
Just
knows what.
cranking it.
Steel drums come on, and it's just like Benjamin Pavlovian response to the steel drums. Moving on.
Whoa, man. Weird connection to make, right?
I'm hearing the bell. I'm
Nope.
hearing the drums now.
And I'm hard.
Drums.
I'm absolutely
Drums, are you here with us?
hard. I'm absolutely hard.
Steel drums, are you in the room with us right now?
Yeah, steel drums. Are you in the room?
So you guys had a history with King of the Hill growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Big fans. You are a physical therapist? Is that the point?
I am. I'm a PT. I do a little bit of strength coaching too. So really all in that genre, moving a body, that kind of thing.
Now, have we had a doctor on the show before, Chris?
We have not.
We haven't.
Some would argue you still haven't.
Yeah,
okay.
so many, including me, would say that we have not had a doctor on yet.
All right.
Yes.
Can't quite
My
check that
student loan
box
payment
yet.
says Dr. Covey, but otherwise no one else calls me that.
Well, I'll call you Doc.
He does play a
you.
doctor on Instagram though, and on the Amazon shop.
I do.
Kyle's got a little meme page, Dr. H. Ardon. If you're interested in physical therapy flavored memes, give him a follow.
It's the memes. It's a book out on Amazon too. It's called That's What PT Said. So if you're what percent of your listeners do you think are physical therapists?
I'd say probably like 64.
Right now,
70.
at least like 1%.
That's pretty darn good.
No, we have a lot of them.
It's you.
Although in Canada, you guys call them what? You guys call them physios, huh?
Physios, bud. Fucking A, bud.
Go to the physios.
Oh, yeah, I go to the physio. He tweaks my back a little so I can get back on the ice and play a little puck, bud.
You didn't tweak your back, bro. You had mono.
Excellent segue, my man.
We'll get into it. Kyle, you know how this goes.
Oh, man. I've listened to every episode except for the Lost episode. Still waiting.
Yeah.
Pending litigation.
We'll get it someday. You're probably the first guest that we've had on that has actually seen/heard the show before. So that's
nice. Hopefully it starts a trend as it grows, man. Everybody's gonna be into
we're
it.
taking over. First we get all the physical therapists, and then we siphon some of that Joe Rogan crowd, We get
their brothers on and ask if they've ever kissed.
Yeah. Kiss their nephews. Should we just get the fuck into our first segment,
dude.
Chris? You want to do
it
this week in Arlen style? Y'all know what it is. It's This Week in Arlen, the segment of the show where we talk about what was happening in the world at the time that this episode aired. This episode 14 of season 2, aired on February 8th, 1998, kicking it off with a little peep at the TV guide. You know how we do it. What stands out here, my friends? All right already.
Yes, what do they got? All right already. Again with the hockey player part 2.
So last week's episode has not come out yet, Kyle, so you don't know about our more recent fixation with this show on the WB. All right already.
I've never even heard of it. I've never even heard of All Right Already.
It's a very obscure sitcom that I believe only aired for one season and is impossible to find online. I haven't been able to find any episodes of it, no DVDs. But the episode titles are always very cheeky.
Again with the something or other.
Yes, it's kind of like a Friends situation where every title. No one of note.
No one of note. Although, didn't you say last episode that Cheryl Holiday was involved in that last one or something?
Yes, Cheryl Holiday wrote this episode as well, who is prolific on King of the Hill. She was kind of taken over at this time. Yes. Dream guest on the pod. I haven't reached out yet, but I plan on reaching out to her.
Yes.
Trying to get her.
A lot of other stuff going on tonight. I mean, the Winter Olympics are on.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about it.
Yes, there will be Olympics to talk about.
Olympics kicked off on Friday in Nagano. These were the
Ooh.
Nagano Winter Olympics. A few things of note for these Olympics. It was the first time that snowboarding was featured in any
Sick.
Winter Olympics, and there was a big scandal because the guy who won gold he tested positive for weed,
Oh,
Surprise.
weed.
and then they took his gold medal away,
Oh
which is
no.
great. Yeah,
Jacques.
you love to hear it.
Nice. I like how in that shot there he's not wearing a helmet or real goggles. Like
Because
they
that's
didn't have to
fucking
wear helmets
lame,
yet. Yeah.
dude. That's lame as shit. But yeah,
Yeah, you
the
gotta
Winter
know. No
Olympics
helmets.
will be coming up quite a bit here on the
Aladdin.
segment.
Aladdin and the King of Thieves is on Wonderful World of Disney. It's
Was this
fun.
the sequel to
I
Aladdin?
think that is, yeah. Number 2.
I think that's the full title.
Is it?
Is it?
'Cause
Is that the
isn't,
first Aladdin? I thought it was just Aladdin, the
I
first
think
one.
Oh,
there's
I mean,
like
when would the
4
first
of them.
Aladdin have come out then?
Well, let's
A
figure
little
that out.
earlier, yeah.
Oh,
You know,
let's
we
see.
do
Yeah,
research on this bitch.
we
I thought you gotta
do.
ask. You just gotta ask chat.
92,
Just have chat
92.
put it in.
Yeah, the
Oh,
first one is
shit.
92.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
never
was
seen
like
this one.
like a straight to VHS sequel, I believe. But
Yeah.
still had, and there was also Return of Jafar, which I believe
What
was the second one.
in one of those, according to I think NADPOD talks about it a lot. In one of those, I think Aladdin's father like comes back and it doesn't get like brought up ever again or something like that. So
Huh.
who knows? The Aladdin lore is mysterious as the shifting sands of time.
Well,
And
Aladdin
I've
was
always said that.
the very first video game I ever played. So
Dude, the platformer, the like side scrolling
Mhm.
on that game
Mhm.
slapped,
Are
brother.
you talking?
Yeah,
Are you
that
talking
was-
about at our old neighbor's house? In
yes,
that
at our old
house?
neighbor's house.
Yeah,
Yes.
at the neighbors.
first.
Yeah.
You were there, Brad.
You remember him, Brad?
Yeah,
You were
we
there?
went over there. We had popsicles.
They had a pool in the backyard.
Yeah, they had a
Mhm.
pool. His sister showed us her butthole that one time.
I blacked that one out.
Yeah. I browned that one out. Am I right?
That's how he got mono.
Let's go. Licking B.
I did a lot of research on mono after this episode. I don't know if you can
Did
get
you?
it from buttholes.
Oh, you can. Yeah.
I mean it's a saliva thing. So I suppose if you're like second in
Huh?
line, but I
Yeah.
don't think you can.
Well,
You know,
obviously you're second in line.
okay.
Number
Yeah.
2.
We might have stumbled onto
Number
something.
2.
And then you go back for seconds, you know?
Hmm.
There's a lot
Dennis
of yeah.
Rodman.
We'll get into it.
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman, Bad as I Wanna Be.
Is this a biopic?
This
or
is a
this,
biopic, but it was also like narrated by Dennis Rodman. 30% audience score, no actual tomatometer reading. Seems like people fucking hated this
Interesting.
movie. Yeah.
Wow.
Man, when I thought this was a legit documentary, and now I say I was wrong.
No, yeah, he's played by some guy, I guess.
Oh, he doesn't even play himself in
Wait,
it.
that's not
No.
him in the shots?
These are pictures of him. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
But
all
not from the
very
movie.
confusing. I didn't
It
do too
is.
much research into it, but yeah, Dennis Rodman had a movie. Seems like people didn't like it very much.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, you
Made
know
f-
what Dennis
made for
Rodman feels
TV.
about that.
Yeah. And also the All-Star game was on.
Mhm.
Don't know if you saw that. It was a 98 All-Star game. I believe Kobe dropped like 18, MJ dropped like 24, the East
Wow.
won. But this was a notable All-Star game. I remember watching it because it was really cool. They didn't have All-Star jerseys. Everyone just like wore
Yes.
their home and away,
Uh-huh.
which it would be kind of cool if they went back to that.
I
That was
agree.
that was Kobe's first All-Star game, wasn't it?
I believe it was, yeah, the first, like, he played in the rookie All-Star game or like the Young Stars game maybe the year before. But yeah, I believe this was his first.
That and
Appearance.
I think I also saw it was good old Timmy D's first too.
Yeah, they were
Oh.
drafted the same year, right?
Some good players.
Yeah,
Yes.
the good old days. And then you got the notable pedophile Karl Malone down there,
Mhm.
allegedly.
Yes.
Going
Also-
straight after Carl.
Yeah, fuck
that's
that
that's
guy.
pretty frequent line from Brad.
Yeah.
I wrote in my notes not to bring up Karl Malone, but here it is. In the first 10 minutes.
We
then
always
if-
bring up that motherfucker on this show. Drag him.
Of course, there's the goat, the gamblingest of all time, right behind
Penny
Malone there.
Hardaway.
I was gonna say Michael,
Oh
the
yeah, Michael.
gamblinist.
Yeah.
But I guess did Hardaway have some gambling scandal?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Chris, I know you're not a super big basketball guy. Brad, are you a basketball guy?
Oh yeah, big time.
You think you could out nickname Chris on some of these guys?
Probably.
Out nickname?
Yeah, like the West that year had amazing nicknames, like the guys on the screen. Like if
Black
I said Carl
Mamba,
Malone, you would know Carl Malone's
the
nickname.
mailman.
Perfect. How about
Yeah.
Gary Payton?
The glove.
Oh, he's got it all.
Ooh.
Shaq's got some fun ones.
Big Diesel. That's the big one.
Yep.
Maybe the hardest one, Kevin Garnett. Give me a Kevin Garnett nickname.
Oh shit. It's not the
Chris,
answer,
this could be
is
for
it?
you too.
No,
Not
I
the
don't think so.
answer.
I don't have
The
these.
Is that
answer is
Iverson?
Yeah, Iverson has the answer.
He has like a the. It's like a the something, right?
He's got the franchise.
The franchise.
And then big
Franchise.
ticket.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool nicknames in
Dang.
that game. Look it up. Look it up. Comment
Yeah.
section.
Nephews.
Should have had a nickname quiz on the bish.
Mm-hmm.
Simpsons check. New episode this week. It is the episode where the Simpsons join a cult.
Nice.
Ring any bells for y'all?
I
I
mean,
don't know if I
we
saw
were
that
in that
one.
cult that made us kiss each other. Yes.
Yeah, you guys were famously raised in a cult. No, this episode, essentially Homer is a dumbass. This is like a really good example I've mentioned on the show before, jerk ass Homer, where they just
Yeah.
kind of like
Mhm.
ruin the character. Homer's just like an idiot and joins this cult run by this guy named the Leader. Kind of seems like it's poking fun at Scientology a little
Is
bit.
that an
'cause
NBA nickname for him, the Leader?
The Leader, yeah. That was that's I'm thinking of a really obscure basketball player, but I can't. I'm
The
just
Leader.
thinking
It's got to be
Kyle
Canadian.
Singler.
Kyle Sigler's
It's
nickname,
Kyle
the
Singler's
Leader.
nickname.
I thought it was a Canadian player, and it was the Leader.
Okay, we're gonna move
The
on.
metric.
The bag of milk. Yeah, I mentioned the Olympics already.
We'll talk
Notably
about
in
it.
the Olympics, it was the first appearance of women's hockey, and on this day, the first ever Olympic women's hockey game was played.
Oh, cool.
6-0, Finland over Sweden.
Nice.
Yeah,
Mm.
I believe Canada won the women's gold that year, as they do most years, because we're better than you at hockey. Also,
Gotta have something.
In the Aeroplane Over the Sea came out on Tuesday.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that album was that old.
Yeah, it's pretty old. Yeah. Are you guys fans of this album?
I had a couple of the songs sparsed in on my Zune.
You had a Zune.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a big Zune guy.
That's
100%.
great.
Yeah.
Big Zune guy loaded up with rips from LimeWire.
Oh,
yeah. Ripped from LimeWire and then just passed around from other people's Zune docs. So
Much
I
like
always,
your neighbor's sister's butthole.
whoa.
Passed around.
You're talking about Amy?
Yeah.
All right.
No.
Moving on. Ursher with the #1 hit, Nice and Slow, was the #1 song in the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you go
Ursher,
back
baby.
Do you guys remember this one at all?
I don't know this song.
I
No.
don't think so.
This is one of those where you listen to it on the radio and you're just like, man, what are people doing when they listen to this?
Fucking, right?
Yeah.
Kissing their brother.
100%.
Can you
It's
give
a-
us
I
a
mean-
little rendition of it?
I mean, I can't think of it, but I can think of us in the minivan, just all of us, and this came on. The kids were in the car. What is that?
Oh, I thought it was Usher.
Is that
Yeah.
that's like a title track on Banjo and Kazooie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Manger
It's the
Babies.
Manger Babies song.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shoot!
Yeah.
I
You'll
haven't got
see
to
that
that
one
episode yet.
the week before this episode comes out.
Ah,
It was Jay Willie's 66th birthday
Wow.
on this day. John Williams. This was kind of the prime of his career, hey? Like Jurassic Park had come out not that long beforehand. I mean, like late 80s to 90s was really when this motherfucker was doing his thing, you know?
He was
he's still
waving a
he's
little
still alive?
stick around.
He's still kicking.
I think he is still alive, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
not
mean,
going to look into that because it'll make me sad if he's dead. But
that put him in his early 90s, late 80s by now.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like he's still alive. No one
Yeah,
look
he's
into
gonna
that.
be
No one
for
tell us
sure.
if he's dead.
We
Nephews.
live in a world where he's alive.
Yeah, in
In this
my
moment in the
mind, Jay
podcast.
Willie stays alive and he'll be waving that stick for years to come. It was also the anniversary of the beheading of Mary, Queen of Scots. I believe she was plotting to kill the Queen of England at the time. There was some sort of they like found out that she was planning to assassinate or have the Queen assassinated, and
Interesting.
they chopped off her head.
I don't know anything really about this incident other than the lady's name, Mary Queen of Scots. Like I know that name, but I don't actually know what her deal was.
Yeah, famously, she was head chopped off.
Hmm.
That's all
A
you
lot of
need to
people,
know.
a lot of people were back in the day.
Yeah, I think we ought to bring that back, right?
Common way to do it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. The guillotine.
It's pretty metal.
What did they do in the picture there? Did they burn her body after? Is that what we're seeing? We
I
poking
think
the burnt
maybe
body?
yeah, they burned her body witch style.
Who
Okay.
knows?
Yeah, they had to
Yeah.
make sure she was done.
Yeah,
Head gone, burned, and poked.
The
Yeah.
guillotine is cool, but I prefer the personal submersible now.
the billionaire,
The billionaire sub, yeah.
submarine. We just send people down in a submarine and let them
Mhm.
implode.
Yep.
Yeah,
Self guillotine.
that is nice. But yeah, that is the final of This Week in Arlen. That's all that fucking
Nice.
happened this week.
Did
fellas.
did you know it was also Big Show's birthday?
It was Big Show's birthday.
Famous wrestler Big Show.
Oh,
Well, it's a big show.
Big Show was born on February 8th.
oh, so you did a little This Week in Arlening yourself, huh?
Well, we were just a big wrestling family growing up, you know.
We
Oh, so
did
you
watch
just
a
like
lot of
knew
wrestling.
that.
I know
off
all
the
the top
dome?
birthdays. I know all the top birthdays. Just ask
And
me.
their
What's
nicknames.
what's Triple H's birthday?
April 3rd. April 3rd.
Shit, Stone Cold Steve Austin. What's his?
316.
Yeah,
March
16th.
16th.
March 16th.
Yeah.
He's got to be March 16th.
It's John 316. That's really good.
Like, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that'll do
See,
it.
we're a wrestling fans.
That'll do it for This Week in Arlen. Happy birthday to the what was it? The Big Show.
Big Show.
It's really good. Should we just jump into this fucking
Yeah, dude.
episode now, brother?
Get this-
Valentine's.
get
Happy
this mower
Valentine's
started.
Day, boys.
Mm-hmm.
What a
Saint
sweet little episode.
Valentine's.
Yes.
This I did not remember this episode at all. I did not know that it was a Valentine's episode going into it, but I love a Valentine's special. Actually, my favorite episode of The Simpsons is a Valentine's episode.
I did not remember this one either, but I got a kick out of this one. I thought it was pretty fun. Yeah, Valentine's episode airing on 2/8/98. Speaking of Valentine's, it is season 2, episode 14, which makes it 214.
Whoa.
The numbers are speaking to me.
Pretty good. That's
I
pretty
did
good.
They
not-
told me to storm the Capitol. Yeah. I remember Mono, directed by Wes Archer, written by Judge Daniels Hardwick and Lieberstein. That's going to be Paul Lieberstein. Toby from The Office is a writer on this one.
Toby.
Probably why it's so good. I love his eps.
Yeah, very well written episode.
Yeah. Well, this
Good job, Toby.
opens up on a shot of, we get a momentary shot of a bird and a bee. It's the first thing that we see. It's a hot open. So theme song straight into the show. And it's a bird and a bee are going to be
Little
the
on the
first thing we
nose, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we cut down to the kitchen where Bobby is writing a Valentine's card, and Hank is like, "Oh, you got a Valentine there, Bobby," and he takes it, and it's for Joseph.
Which
This
makes Hank's brain break a little bit.
Happy Valentine's Day, love, Bobby. Yeah, Hank starts to short circuit. There's a little candy heart in there that says, "Hey, hot stuff."
What do you guys think about the candy hearts? Are you fans?
As a candy, no.
But
Yeah,
as like a Valentine's specific thing.
I mean, it's iconic, but it's kind of incredible that a candy is like stale right out of the box.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
made
that's
to
like
be
a
stale.
it's a feature of the candy, and it
Mhm.
doesn't get worse over time.
Yeah. I kind
Do
of
you guys
love 'em.
remember?
I
Do
don't
you
know
remember
why.
the
I don't know what it is.
Candy Heart episode of Futurama
No,
where they
I
go to
remember
that
a
Candy
really
Heart planet?
funny.
There was something like was there like a candy heart like supernova or like there was a lot of it in space and they had to like
Yes.
collect it all for Leela or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
Fry's trying to find the exact right one for Leela. It's a good
I
cute Candy
remember
Hearts.
I remember that
in
now.
the Simpsons Valentine's episode, that is my favorite episode. There's a scene where Bart like removes the words and writes his own. Like he puts like "bite me"
Nice.
and like "eat rocks" and like cool shit on them. And I did that
Nice.
when I was in middle school, and I got in trouble.
Because you used lead paint or something.
Yeah, I killed a lot of kids. Yeah, that's why we had to move to the U.S. We were on the run.
Choked to death with a candy heart.
Yeah.
Peggy's gonna clear the plate away and tell Bobby to at least eat the butter. It's full of vitamin A because he doesn't have time to eat. Doesn't have time to eat the
line.
pancakes. So
You
she
need
says,
that nutrition,
line.
baby.
just eat the butter. Hank is like, I'll just put this right over here, and is going to put the Valentine in the trash can, and Luann intercepts it, and she's like, hey, I can use that. And she says that she's going to be her own Valentine's this year since Buckley already told her that he's gonna forget Valentine's,
Yeah.
which is very sad.
Preemptively forgot.
Very, very sad Luann in most of this episode. Peggy is gonna say that oh wait, where is it? There we go. Oh yeah. Thanks, man.
Shit together, brother.
Thanks, man. I'm so nervous.
My brother's
My
here.
brother's here.
Hey, you're
Luann,
doing great. You're doing great, big guy. I've got
Thanks.
mom and dad are in the next room ready to come in and encourage you too. If you start to stammer, just like we did when we were kids, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Just like you at the T-ball game, Chris.
That was not
the
me.
T-ball game.
I could keep my emotional composure on the pitch. Not everyone in this Zoom can say the same, but Luann,
Oh, shots
Don't make me
fired.
talk about the pancake incident. We're talking about pancakes.
hey, eat your butter. Luann is gonna say that to love oneself is the greatest one of all, is the greatest love of all, right, Aunt Peggy? And Peggy's gonna say,
She's
nope.
like, nah.
Hank's like, nah, that doesn't track.
That's wrong.
She
I also
just
love
gets shot
that
down.
when Hank takes the Valentine away from Bobby, he's like, people are gonna worry that you're sensitive.
Sensitive.
That'll stay with you.
So we're gonna get a Peggy flashback because Peggy is gonna tell Luann the most romantic Valentines that Hank and Peggy ever had, and they weren't even in the same room. So we're gonna get some nice extended flashbacks in this episode, which I always like.
I liked the flashbacks.
Yeah, they look good, I think too.
Peggy is narrating this flashback. It's her flashback, and she says that her high school, West Arlen, was playing Hank's high school, Arlen High. They'd been going out for about 6 months, and things were going good. So this is when supposedly Peggy has moved from Montana at this point in time. We got the Montana information a couple episodes
Yeah.
ago.
Now, Chris, in the last episode, I believe you caught on like a sign or something the population of Arlen. Do you recall what the population of Arlen
it's like
was?
1425
It
or
was
something
like
like
very,
that.
very small. And Peggy
Yeah.
says they were at rival high schools. If
Mhm.
Arlen is that small, why they got 2 schools?
There's a flashback, bro. It used to be bigger.
Did it? What
I
happened?
don't. Maybe. I mean, people left for the city.
You gotta do like the X-Files.
The decline of
sound for that.
The decline of small town America. But yeah, it's big enough apparently to have 2 high schools, and Peggy goes to Hank's rival school. They've been dating for about 6 months, and I'm glad to see that Peggy actually is swinging the bat now. We used to get some flashback from her in Bobby Slam where she's coaching Connie. We get a flashback where she's not allowed to play baseball, but she's playing softball now.
She had to join the girls' team.
Yeah. Hank is going to say, hello, Miss Platter. And Peggy's like, hello, Mr. Hill. Just
so awkward.
So formal. And Hank's like, did you hear it was Valentine's Day? And she's like, some of the girls on the bus mentioned something about that. And Hank essentially tells Peggy to make him dinner
Yeah, he offers for her to make him dinner.
Yeah, as
Awesome.
polite as he can. He says, yeah, some of the girls are making their boyfriend's dinner, and it might be nice if you could make me dinner. And Peggy agrees, but she gets a little bit of a look on her face.
She's worried.
She is worried. This is going to be my favorite part of the flashback and sets up, Peggy for the future. We cut to the kitchen, and this is where we get our first guest star of the episode. Playing Peggy's mom in this flashback is a returning guest star, Joanna Gleason. So Joanna Gleason, briefly, she was the secretary in Husky Bobby, or the lady at the podium. In Husky Bobby, Joanna Gleason is a Tony Award winner. She won Best Actress for the musical Into the Woods, the Stephen Sondheim musical. She's a very well-known actress, still acting today. She was in Boogie Nights. And Brad, you would remember her as Rachel's boss from Friends, I think in the smoking episode. Yes. So Joanna Gleason, she is going to play Peggy's mom in this.
Nice.
So we're in the kitchen, and Peggy's mom is talking, and she's like, "You're not going to make the beef." And Peggy's like, "The beef Wellington? Yes, I am. And cherry pie." And Peggy's mom is all worried about this. She's like, "Well,
a little overbearing." Peggy's mom.
She says, "Why don't you just build him a rocket ship?" If he discovers that you can't bake, it's all over, she says. So
yeah, why would she? I mean, it's like typical Peggy to kind of go for like the hardest possible thing, even though she's like not good at it and doesn't know how to do it at all. But interesting that she would make that choice.
She loves her man. She wants to impress him for Valentine's Day. She wants to secure her a man for the future.
Yeah, I guess.
I love the line right after from the mom about the contractions.
Oh yeah.
She's Peggy says can't or something, and Peggy's mom walks off and says, "We will not use contractions in this house."
Yeah. You think that she's gonna be like, "We don't use the word can't because you need to believe in yourself," but no, it's because we don't like that type of,
we don't use contractions,
of grammar.
Well, it was pretty good. It was pretty good writing, because the scene before it was like, "This is my meal. He is my boyfriend. I cannot cook." Like, they broke out every word. And then when she got frustrated, she was like, "I can't." And that was the last straw.
I feel like that was definitely a joke, like for the writers, from the writers' room, for the writers' room.
No, it was. I had to like listen to it a few times for sure.
But it's very funny. And then in this flashback, we get a small montage of Peggy not knowing how to cook, and she burns her eyebrows off trying to flambe the beef Wellington.
She just like pours some like
some
it
wine
looked like
or
it was
sherry.
like red wine or sherry, and then just like strikes a match on it.
Blows her eyebrows off.
Eyebrows right off.
I thought that was very funny, and we see her drawing them back on. But Peggy is crying when the phone rings, and Peggy's mom is like, "Peggy, phone for you," and it's Hank. And Hank says that he's laid up in bed because he pulled a muscle in his back. Peggy he's like, "I'm sorry, I can't make it," and she's like, "Don't cry, Peggy."
Now, as a physical therapist, Kyle, what would you recommend for Hank after pulling some? I believe he said tendons in his back.
Pulling some tendons in his back.
Yeah.
Well, I won't get too deep into the sauce here, but
no, get very deep into it.
Let's say he really did get some tendons in his back going.
Okay.
Almost the worst thing you can do is lay in bed. So he's already doing bad. He's doing bad science.
And even bad lying. Yeah, get into that.
All right. Have you guys heard of that term, rice? We all know about rice.
Like
the
grain,
your rice, right?
Yeah.
But it has the grain also.
You boil it,
ice, compress,
boil it,
that kind of thing.
Fry.
Okay.
Oh yeah, right. You got any more rice takes?
Oh, I know.
How many more rices do you know?
Well, you got arborio. That's a good one.
Chris, you know rice?
You got long grain, jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Talk
brown.
about basmati. Ooh.
Basmati. You got
I'm a little
sushi
cilantro
rice.
lime guy.
Yeah,
Mm.
cilantro
Had a little bit
lime
of that
is
today.
good.
But without getting too deep into the science, you need to move. That's all you got to do.
Huh.
It's not
Okay.
All
hard.
right. So even though he doesn't have a fucked up back, he's not doing it right. He's not doing
He's
it
not doing it right.
rice.
He is. I'll tell you what. He's doing mono well.
Okay,
He's
good.
doing mono well.
Bed
You're
rest.
supposed to. If you bed rest, if you don't, you might explode your spleen. So
Oh
there's
shit.
that.
All right.
That's why you have to lay in bed.
And this has been PT Moment.
PT Corner.
Tune in next week.
So yeah, Hank is like, oh, sorry, I ruined Valentine's, and he's like, Peggy's like, I made a beef Wellington and pie, and Hank's like, oh, well, why don't you hold that up to the phone and let me have
they're
a smell.
They're
They have a
kind of
little-
having phone sex.
They do. They have the little
Yes.
softcore phone sex about the food.
It's so them.
Peggy is like, be careful, it's hot, and Hank is like, I bet it is.
I'm such a clumsy
They're
man.
talking about the pie, and he's saying, I'm imagining eating it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
come on, Fox. The censors did
And
not
it's a
pick these up.
cherry pie too. That's yeah.
Canon. Yeah, he's got some on his earlobe. It's a very saucy little scene, but we come out of the flashback to see Bobby and Luann's faces, just
Yeah,
like they're like,
What
why
the
did you
fuck?
tell us this?
so good.
That was my favorite part of the flashback, was coming to and seeing Bob and Luann.
yeah.
So Luann, takes a nice message away from this, and she says, so it is true, there is someone for everyone. She immediately gets shot down again, and they're like, nope, I don't think that's what you're supposed to take from that story. Very funny that
Yeah.
shot it down again. She's like,
How did you two feel personally about that, since you're very Luann friendly? You get your blood boiling a little bit?
I did feel pretty bad for Luann this
Yeah,
episode.
she was sad in this one. I didn't like that.
I
don't like sad Luann. I
I
want her
did-
to be happy.
The writing of them shooting Luann down was pretty funny in this episode, where she's saying some really, decent advice about relationships, about like loving yourself, and like there's someone for everyone, and the fact that they just like shoot her down for like what they have, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah. Them being
Yeah,
like
even Bobby does it.
braggadocious.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he does.
Still at the table, Peggy is going to tell Hank that she's going to see that old high school because she's going to sub for the record keeper.
Convenient timing.
Very convenient. We go over to the alley where Bobby gets a package from the mailman. Bobby
I
and
love
Joseph
this.
are back here. The package is from a secret admirer, and it says, to expect me Valentine's night. And Bobby, Joseph's like, the only girl you talk to is Connie. And Bobby is like, it could be Carrie Strug. Or at least I hope it's Carrie Strug. Did you guys go in and look up Carrie
That's
Strug?
so fun. That's
I
so funny.
went down a bit of a struggle. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got on
I
the
did
struggle
too.
bus.
I did too.
Yeah. Hopped on the struggle bus.
So for the listeners, not for the nephews at home, Carrie Strug was a gold medal gymnast from the 96 Olympics, which happened in ATL in Atlanta. She was part of the Atlanta. She was part of the Magnificent Seven women's gymnastic team that barely beat those Ruskies. Carrie Strug kind of became a patriotic star kind of figure of the this particular Olympic Games because she performed with a busted ankle. She
I thought it was a broken leg.
Broken leg, broken ankle.
I think Bobby said it was a broken leg, but
Was
I
it
think
not?
it was a busted ankle,
Okay.
Chris. Which
Yeah.
it could have just been the same thing, but
Yeah, I don't know if it was fully broken or what. Ankles are complicated, right, Kyle? But she they need her to run one more vault, and she does it on this broken leg.
Yeah.
And she lands it and then kind of immediately collapses, and her score and one other gal's score is enough to just put America right above Russia for the team gold.
Wow.
So she kind of becomes this
Legend.
cult star, very popular figure after she'll go on to Carrie Strug is going to voice herself in this episode. She's going to
Oh,
pop
she
up later.
did.
She does. She makes a lot of appearances in the late 90s, the talk shows, and she's in like an episode of Seventh Heaven. But yeah, Bobby thinks that this Valentine is from a famous gymnast, Carrie Strug,
Who was 21 years old
at the time.
at the
Yes.
time of this episode. So
Uh-huh.
problematic
So
age gap.
Bobby's got a fixation with Carrie Strug for some reason.
'Cause she's a fucking national hero, dude.
Yes.
Well, she's also, those gymnasts are pretty tiny. She's probably about the size of Bobby.
Yeah. I thought it like in the weird dream sequence that Bobby has later in the episode, I thought that she was a child because she looked and sounded like one.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But
for sure.
interesting that there is a like Olympics heavy reference here
Mhm.
on essentially the night of like this was the 2 days
The Winter
after the
Olympics, yeah.
opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, nicely timed. Another Olympics tie, and you see this USA Olympics hat I'm wearing.
Yeah, did you do
this
that on
is-
purpose or?
I did. This is from Kyle and I's recently deceased grandfather's closet. Shout out to Charlie's hat here. This hat is from the 96 Olympics.
Whoa.
From Hotlanta, huh?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's got like a little 96 on it somewhere or something like that. Yeah, it's this is a US official right here, baby.
Wow.
Isn't
A Carrie Strug hat.
Okay, I was thinking, isn't 96 like a hat brand?
It is, yeah.
I was like, maybe it's just from the brand.
No, so I don't
That
know if
shit was
Grandpa,
made in 2023, brother.
I don't know
Yeah.
if Grandpa went to this Olympics or not, or if he just bought it that year. But yeah,
You
I
think
wore my
you think
96
Grandpa
Olympics
went to
hat.
Atlanta? You think Grandpa ever made it to Atlanta?
True, good point. We cut
Grandpa
over to
hour.
Arlen High, where Peggy is entering some records with this other secretary. They start gossiping about this one girl and how she was a code 42. And Peggy is, or the other person's like, I thought she just got fat for a semester. So code 42 is teen pregnancy.
Definitely.
The secretary says, "Oh, here's somebody we know," and Peggy's like, "Oh, I don't want to snoop." And so the other I think her name's Beth, starts entering. She's like Hank Hill. She starts entering his personal record. He got in trouble for telling the debate team to shut the hell up.
Yeah. And he wouldn't sing "Where Have All the Flowers Gone." He was kicked out of chorus.
Yeah,
Mhm.
very funny. But most
Very
importantly,
Hank.
they come to his medical leave of absence for 2 weeks senior year, and Peggy is like, "Yep, Hank had a bad back. He really hurt his back bad." And the other secretary is like, "Oh, Peggy, you don't have to lie to me. You know, like you could. I don't care if you got mono." And Peggy is like, "I've never had mono in my life." And yeah, we get a confused and angry face from Peggy as we cut to commercial. Turns out
yeah.
Hank had mono instead of having a bad back.
And their entire relationship is a sham.
Ooh. So yeah, that's our first commercial break. We cut back to a really funny opening line, just like right out of the gate after commercial break, of Dale
that's
saying,
great.
"Do you ever wonder what it's like to drink beer over there?" And Hank says, "Curiosity killed the cat, Dale." Ooh.
So this is a new little tidbit on the show.
Deleted.
I got this season on DVD, so I've been watching the deleted scenes and chiming in whenever there is a deleted scene of note. There weren't very many for this episode. They were all just kind of one-liners that were cut out. But the whole Dale wondering what it would be like to drink beer across the street actually comes up later when they're like talking about how to be spontaneous with Peggy. And Dale is like, well, if you want to do something spontaneous, we could go and drink beer across the street. So it seems like Dale, they cut out a second time of him suggesting that they go and drink on the other side of the street.
Oh, that's very funny.
Yes.
I just love that. It was a great back from commercial opener, but we see Peggy drive up and she walks out and she's like, Hank, I was just thinking about your old football days. And Hank's like, well, that's a good thing to be thinking about. And she basically just straight up confronts him, and she's like, Hank, I know you didn't tear your back. How did you get mono? Uh, how'd you get mono, Hank? And Hank says he must have shared a soda with one of the teammates. It was the 70s.
Which
Which I
is also a way that you can get mono. Like,
Yeah,
he should have
100%.
just told her that he had mono in the first place.
yeah,
He didn't
and
have to
used the
tell her
soda bottle.
that he kissed somebody, you know?
Yeah, well, this is where it's all gonna start to unravel between Peggy and Hank. Is Hank lied about it all those years ago,
Yeah.
and he kind of starts to lie about it now. Says he shared a soda with a guy on the team. Peggy says she went by the nurses, and she said that she wasn't aware that you could get mono that way. And Dale is gonna he's looking down and off to the side, and Dale's gonna try to cover for Hank here and say that you shouldn't trust anything the school nurse says because glug 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 glug, implying that she's an alcoholic.
He's looking out for his man, and
Such
I
a good
appreciate
bro move.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Very good.
Peggy is like, oh, she kind of feigns relief. She's like, oh, okay, because there for a second I started to think, well, I don't know what I started to think. And then she just like walks inside, and Hank and Dale are immediately sweating it as soon as she's gone. And Dale's like, she's on to us. And Hank is like, not unless you let something slip. And Dale says, I don't let things slip. I place information. Very funny of Dale. We cut over to Tom Landry Middle School, and Bobby is kind of surrounded by some of his classmates that we haven't really seen before.
Yeah, some new friends.
Some of these kids that they try to bring in here, and they're going to immediately bring up Carrie Strug again. One guy is like, we were just talking about Carrie Strug, and then here you get this box of chocolates. So it seems like there's a couple of the other boys are bought into this theory that Bobby's Valentine is from Carrie Strug.
And I love how when they're talking about her, they all like look over at the American flag. They're like, she's such a hero.
Yes. Well, Connie doesn't really
got choked up too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Connie doesn't see what the big deal is. Yeah, she's a patriot. She's an American hero. Connie is like, she's 30. When she was
like, they don't tell you that.
She's like 30. This is kind of leading the viewers to believe that maybe this is from Connie. Because Joseph brings it up in the alley, and then we see Connie being annoyed by the fact that Bobby, thinks this is from someone else. So whenever I was watching this, I was like, oh, maybe this is from Connie. We're back in the registrar, the record keeping office, and Peggy just can't help but want to look, and Beth is like, you just can't get this out of your head, can you? And Peggy's like, no. And Beth is like, well, I couldn't either, so I already looked. Peggy is like,
nosy queen.
Yes, I liked Beth a lot, actually.
Oh,
she's very funny.
Yeah,
great.
Peggy is like, yeah, did anybody else on the football team have mono? And Beth is like, not unless there was a girl on the team named Amy Edlin. And Peggy is gonna take a look at this file and say like, well, it seems the little whore plays well with others, doesn't she?
And Peggy's gonna fucking kill this lady, man.
Peggy immediately gets so steamed that she calls this lady a little whore.
This is unhinged behavior from Peggy.
Yeah.
We cut to Peggy sitting down with Nancy, and Peggy is trying to rationalize and say, well, maybe this girl took a drink from a soda and set it down, and Hank picked it up thinking it was one of the teammates. She's still trying to believe Hank's lie. Yeah. And Nancy,
also,
of all people,
so deliberate that it was her going to Nancy to talk about it.
Nancy, of all people, says, you just wrap that little lie like a warm blanket around you. So funny that she's talking to Nancy about this. But Peggy says that she looked her up in the phone booth, tracked her down, and posing as a college recruiter, she has figured out where she works. And she's going to go get the truth.
Go confront her.
Nancy has a line whenever Peggy says she's going to look for the truth. Nancy says that, truth is like the sunlight. People used to say it was good for you.
That was my favorite line.
It kind of is, right? Sure.
Yes.
It's good and bad.
For Nancy, it would definitely be a bad.
Now, as a doctor, what do you recommend as far as sun exposure, Kyle?
Oh man, that's a hot question.
Sunlight,
It's kind of trendy.
sunlight
It's trendy
enemas.
to do sun.
Yeah, perennial sunning. Are you a fan?
There's a lot. There's a lot of videos out there that I've been finding on my search history. It's weird.
Yeah.
A lot of recommended videos
A
about
lot
that,
of
which
perennial
I'm not
sunning,
sure
yeah.
how that happens.
Oh,
Those
you found my
viruses.
other podcast, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's cool to a lot of people are just wearing sunscreen in the morning, you know? Do your wives do that? Put on sunscreen as part of their morning routine?
As a base,
I have a
yes.
moisturizer with sunscreen in it that I
SPF.
use. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
You
I
gotta
wear a
People are
big
really
SPF it,
hat.
brother.
being smart, being
Yeah.
smart about the sun.
Mhm.
Protect yourself from the sun, folks. You heard
You
it
heard it.
here.
Sun is not your friend, and don't let Big Sun tell you otherwise.
Unless it's
Exactly.
on your butthole. Then it's your friend.
It is
Yeah.
very friendly. Bobby and Joseph are at the mall because Bobby obviously needs to get a Valentine's present.
Yeah,
for
something
whenever
romantic
Carrie
and
shows up.
frilly.
Yeah, something romantic and frilly. Bobby is going to drift into a patriotic little daydream here of a gymnastics routine. We see cartoon Carrie Strug do a little floor routine, and we see cartoon Bobby in a leotard
Yes.
do a
Bobby in the
tumbling
leotard
pass.
was spectacular.
That was such
Very
a
fun.
weird character model. He just looked like a pear.
Yeah, this was
Flipping
my
around.
favorite part of the episode by far, and I loved how they put a gold medal on Bobby and
Yes.
he unwraps it and takes a bite out of it, and it's
Yes.
made of chocolate.
In the daydream,
good.
there's some really soft romantic late 90s style music playing, and yeah, Carrie Strug says it's compulsory that you be my Valentine, which I tried to look into, and I think that the compulsory part had something to do with the Olympics and something with the judging of like, did she need to go again, or was it like compulsory, or was she forced by
Yeah.
her coaches? I don't know.
Yeah, that felt like there was something behind that line.
We cut back to, and the boys are inside the Victoria's Secret knockoff where there's some sexy music playing, and we just see the boys looking around. Joseph's eyes are going wide in the
Yeah.
lingerie store.
And then a lady comes to try to see if they need any help, and they
Scares
just
'em.
run away.
That was one of my favorite parts of the boys, just run
I'm
out.
surprised you haven't soundboarded that shriek. The little when the lady comes up and it's like the
Oh yeah, that would be a good one to have. I'll make note of it.
We cut
I mean,
to
that's close enough. You already got the Timu version right there.
we cut to the grocery store, and we see Miss Amy Edlin. She be peddling some ostrich.
Yeah, she's risen up a married guy too.
She is. This is going to be another guest star for us this episode. Amy Edlin is going to be played by Jennifer Jason Leigh.
That is a really familiar name.
She's still acting today. Most recently, you can find her in Fargo, the crime show Fargo. If you guys are watching that, that's currently still airing. I think she does like 8 episodes in Twin Peaks.
She's in Fast Times at
Ridgemont High. She plays Daisy Domerhue in The Hateful Eight. If you guys have seen that Quentin Tarantino film with the bounty hunters, the criminal that all the bounty hunters are fighting over is who she plays.
Interesting.
She's in 16 episodes of Weeds, and she is also in the movie Single White Female, which is one of the bases for a season 1 episode called Plastic Female.
Plastic White Female.
Plastic White Female.
She's in the Hey Arnold movie.
I was just about to tell you she was in the Hey Arnold movie. I knew you were going to love that.
Wow.
That's a pretty big guest.
Love that. She's in the Hercules television series. Only 1 episode of King of the Hill. Wow.
Yep.
Welcome.
She's still acting strong, pretty strongly today. I think she produces as well. So yeah, Jennifer Jason Leigh is going to play Amy Edlin, but yeah, she's trying to riz up a dude.
Sosterich.
She's
what
like,
is
would
that?
would you try a sausage? And the
It's
guy's like,
ostrich meat.
it's ostrich meat.
Yeah.
It says ostrich farms on the front, which is very funny. But this guy is like, my wife wouldn't like it if I spoiled dinner. And she's like, is your wife here? I don't see her. And so the guy takes some sausage, certified harpy, Amy Edlin. Peggy is going to come marching right up. And she's like, would you like to try some sausage? And Peggy says, what she's looking for does not fit on a toothpick. And it is not made of ostrich. And she says, it's the truth. And Amy says, okay, there is some turkey in it, which I thought was pretty good.
Do people
sausage
actually eat ostrich?
Cut with.
I think so.
Have you guys ever had it?
I have
I haven't
not.
had it. I assumed it was just a fake, product.
I think
Yeah.
it's one of those like exotic jerky types you can get at the fair. Kyle, you ought to know about exotic jerky types. You were into jerky for a while.
I was into jerky. I think the most exotic we had was just like hammerhead.
Oh
Ooh.
shit, guys! There's a website called American Ostrich Farms that sells ostrich meat online.
Do they have sausage? Do they have
All
sausage?
natural Amaru Emu Farms premium ostrich meat. American Ostrich Farms. Let me see what variety.
Use code Hill Kings at checkout.
Yes. Ooh, our first sponsor. Ostrich fillets. Okay. We got
Ooh.
a strip. We got ostrich kebab meat, ostrich liver, ostrich
Oh my
meatballs,
gosh.
ostrich neck, ostrich pearl. Does that come?
Whoa.
Whoa, what is
That could be like a Rocky Mountain oyster.
Got it. I think it might actually be ostrich testicles.
Ostrich nards. So yeah, she
looks like it.
Peggy
Oh,
confronts.
there's merch. Hold on.
Oh, whoa.
No,
We can't go.
You can buy eggs
Interesting.
Eggshell, yeah.
and feathers. Wow. Are you on the
Wow.
website too?
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach
They just
out.
placed
See
an
if
order.
They wanna see if they want to.
Chris, go ahead. You go
Sponsor
ahead and
this
continue
episode.
with the show, and
Yeah.
Brad and I are gonna
Yeah, we're gonna
reach out and
order
some stickers.
Do some ostrich shopping.
Wait, it
Yeah.
actually says free bumper sticker,
Oh shit!
What? Hell
so
yeah.
you can just get a bumper sticker for free.
I
Limit
think
one per
all of our-
customer per order.
I think all of our nephews listening should request tons of bumper stickers so that the people at this website are like, what's going on over here?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Uh,
order a hat.
Just try to put promo code Hillkings in the order comments.
if-
if there's
if
a
it-
note section or special instructions, put promo code Hillkingspot.
If enough nephews reach out to American Ostrich Farms, this is my dream now. If enough nephews reach out to American Ostrich Farms, maybe we can get them to sponsor the show. Don't tell them that I'm a vegetarian. All right.
What's
Kyle, I will
wild about
take the
American
stretch.
Ostrich Farms? They have a reward system,
Oh,
so they have
all right.
frequent enough patrons that they have rewards.
All right.
Fascinating.
Amy is trying to sell some ostrich. Peggy's not buying it. She's here for the truth. And Peggy straight up says, I need to know if anything you know about an interaction with a man named Hank Hill about 20 years ago this time. And Amy's like, who's asking? And Peggy gets a little, music swells and she says, she's a mother, a substitute teacher, and most importantly, she's a wife, and you can call me Peggy Hill. We cut back over to the meat locker where there's Amy has got a little tea set up. So the gals are sitting down to have a chat in the meat locker. And Amy starts in with a flashback and she says, it could have been anybody. This was right when my boyfriend had just broken up with her. So we cut into Amy's flashback, and she falls off her bike and gets her bell bottom caught in her chain. She calls out for help.
She intentionally puts that bell bottom in the chain, brother.
Yes.
Mhm.
She does say that she had something to prove because her boyfriend, just broke up with her. So she's stuck, just like everyone's favorite genre. And she calls out for help. Calls out for help.
What do you mean, Chris?
She calls out for help.
Care to elaborate on that one?
Oh,
or-
I do
Step
not.
Bro's
What are
fallen
you
into the laundry
doing,
machine.
step bro?
Thank you. I was waiting on that sound bit, Brad.
I did just order an American Ostrich Farms hat, and I
Did you
encourage you.
include the
I,
free
Order me
sticker?
one.
Did
I
you include the free
encourage-
sticker?
I
You gotta
think
add that to cart.
it might just. Oh, I didn't. I already checked out.
You
gotta
gotta
add
order
that to
another
cart.
one.
All right. Well, I encourage you both to order one as well. Support our sponsor.
Did the
I
promo card
absolutely
work?
will.
Did the promo code work?
I didn't use
Surprisingly.
one.
So yeah, in the flashback, Amy has gotten herself stuck. Hank comes over to help. She says, "My bells got caught in my bike chain." Hank gets her unstuck, and she's like, "I just feel so hopeless ever since my boyfriend died in Vietnam,
In the jungles of
the
Vietnam.
jungles of Vietnam." Which she tells Peggy that, she just broke up with her boyfriend, and obviously she's trying to lay it on thick for Hank. Here in the flashback, she says her boyfriend is dead, and Hank says, "You're very brave to bicycle in the state you're in," which is very funny for young Hank to say.
Mhm.
Amy is going to try to plant a kiss on Hank for saving her bell bottoms, and Hank says, "No, no, I have a girlfriend," and Amy's going to use her famous line, "Well, is she here? I don't see her." And she goes in to kiss him again, and for one split second, we do see Hank's
He
hands
did.
go
He
to
did.
Amy
Yeah.
Edlin's lower back, so he does
Yeah.
relent
He resists.
half a second.
He resists, and then the third time she goes in, he gives her a little squeeze.
He does give her a squeeze, and then he pushes her away with a bois and runs off.
There is at this particular
Deleted!
that was the wrong soundbite.
Deleted!
There is a deleted scene where after she kisses him, he is walking up and he has like a bottle of cola. So like the lie that he tells Peggy, after she kisses him, he picks up the cola and takes a drink to wash his mouth out. So he does take a sip. Maybe it was hers, actually. Maybe she sets it down. So he does take a sip of soda
Interesting.
in a deleted scene.
Okay.
Giving us some deniability there.
Some deniability. Thank you, writers.
Does Chris, do you think the amount that Hank allowed it to happen, does that count? Or does he count as a full no? Brad, same question to you.
Like, is it cheating? Were they on a break?
Yeah, were they on a break? if you turn the corner and someone's going into Rachel and you see her drop the hand a little bit for a split second, does that count?
Yeah, it counts. He should have told her. That's the thing.
He should have told her. That's
he
the
didn't
thing.
want it. It was non-consensual.
Yes.
Which
we're not saying
absolves
Hank's
him,
right
I
here.
believe.
100%.
Well, yeah,
He should have told her.
The problem is he should have told her. That's what makes it bad.
Yes. Yeah, and that's really going to be Peggy's main rub once we get into the third act, but we cut it out of the flashback, and Peggy is like, thank you for being honest with me. You've given me a lot to think about. And she's going to give her a sausage coupon and says, like, "I know this doesn't help, but it will get you 30% off your groceries," which is pretty good. Peggy takes the coupon.
And a reminder to use our coupon at checkout at AmericanOstrichFarms.com. They do make skincare as well. Artisan ostrich oil soap and moisturizing lip balm. Check it out today. Beard oil, body balm, ostrich.
I'm very intrigued. Before the end of this act, Peggy gets the coupon, and she is still so frustrated. She is going to punch a side of beef back here.
So hard. Scares the shit out of this lady, too.
Yeah. Amy thinks Peggy is going to punch her, but Peggy punches this beef instead. And that's where we cut to our second commercial break.
Home stretch here, boys.
We get home after the break, and Peggy immediately calls out Hank.
She's so mad.
She's so mad. Hank comes clean and immediately is like, "I feel so relieved. Give me a hug. I've never felt closer to you."
Close to you.
Just holding on to this lie for like 30 years.
Yeah, Hank just absolutely feels so free from this small lie that he's been telling. But yeah, Peggy is pissed. She is going to try to pull one on Hank, and she's going to say, "Well, I made out with plenty of guys behind your back." And Hank's like, "You did?" And she's like, "No, I did not. But now, don't you see how I feel?" which this is actually foreshadowing. I don't know if you guys know semi sort of anything about this. There's an episode later on. I think it's called like Luann the Virgin Part 2, where it comes out. I think it's pretty big in the Hill Kings or King of the Hill zeitgeist.
I know which one you're talking about.
Peggy,
Yeah, I don't.
It's no spoilers, but Peggy is not a virgin whenever she meets Hank.
Oh,
is a later on. So here in this episode, Peggy is claiming to have always been faithful, but there is an episode later on, a bigger lie that Peggy has held on to from the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess we'll all have to
Stay
listen
tuned.
until season 7. You guys can make it that long?
Yeah, we'll see. We're contractually obligated through season 3, but we'll see how the renewal talks go.
Ostrich Farms.
The ostrich people want their money.
Yeah, they paid us through season 3, you know?
They paid us in ostrich skincare products.
We'll check them out after that.
So Peggy is like, yeah, I can forgive the kissing. I could forgive, but what I can't forgive is the lying. And she says, like our whole story is built around this kind of pivotal moment, and that's all been a lie. And she says,
which is a really good point.
It is a really good point. She says now all we have is a whole side of beef and half a cow and 3 broken ribs. She says, that's black and white for you. You break it, you buy it. So she punched that cow and they made her buy it.
And then they cut to Bobby and Luann butchering it.
Yes, the next scene.
Which is
Bobby
so funny.
Absolutely.
It's funny to think of what was the lady's name who kissed Hank?
That would have been Amy,
right?
Edlin.
Amy had to walk up to the front with Peggy right after their exchange to tell him that this was the lady who punched the beef directly after it happened, or they never would have got it home with her.
I definitely would have had to like help her carry it to the car.
Yeah.
This is a big ordeal.
Half a cow is a lot of meat.
A scene of that. But yeah, they're going to be well stocked on cow meat. I'm more of an ostrich meat guy, but that's fine. I do like too that Peggy refers to it as the second greatest story ever told.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys look up what the greatest story ever told was?
That's supposed to be a Bible thing, isn't it?
It is a Bible thing, but specifically it is a movie that came out in 1965 with Charlton Heston in it, where Charlton Heston plays John the Baptist and Max von Sydow plays Jesus. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's basically like a biblical story, old movie. Pat Boone is in it. Yeah.
So yeah, it's the second greatest story ever told, and now it's just beef and broken ribs. But yeah, Bobby and Luann are cutting up this cow, and Bobby is talking about how, like, okay, when she arrives, like, you should greet her and compliment her dress or her leotard. And Luann is sad and says like it must be nice to feel wanted on Valentine's Day. And Bobby is like, oh, Luann, were you listening to a thing I said?
We're talking about me.
Yeah, everyone just absolutely disregarding Luann's feelings this episode. Made me so sad for her.
Yeah.
Such a good bit though.
We're in the kitchen. We get another Peggy crazy hair alert. Brad, I know you like those moments.
She looking raggedy.
She's got sweatpants, a flannel, and messed up hair. And she comes in, Hank comes in and she's being kind of cold to him, and Bobby, says, I'm leaving. And Peggy is like, okay, bye, sweetie, I love you. And Hank's like, all right, I guess I'm leaving too. And Peggy says, whatever. And he's like, I love you. And she said, right.
Yeah.
Just absolutely
cold,
furious with Hank.
They're on the rocks.
We are over in the alley, and we see Peggy in the background taking some trash out, and Bill says to Hank, I didn't know Peggy's brother was in town.
Does Peggy have a brother?
Peggy has, I think, 2 brothers.
Really?
I think so. She does have siblings. They eventually go to Montana, and we do get to meet the rest of her family. This is also Peggy's mom in this episode is part of the Peggy retcon, because it's not the same mom in later episodes.
Oh, really?
Different portrayal, yeah.
This is the first time
different.
We see Peggy's mom, though, right?
This is the first time we've seen Peggy's mom.
Or maybe it isn't. Maybe there was another flashback of her as a kid.
There's
the
a
sex
flashback
talk one.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Very
Wow,
briefly.
look at us, man. We're fucking experts on this shit.
Calling back.
This is impressive to see behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Ooh, to see how this ostrich is made.
Yes.
Yeah. Hank punches Bill. Hank says, I was taking advantage of Peggy and all the stuff she did for me, and now that she doesn't do that stuff, she's just some mopey gal with big feet who lives in my house.
Is it about? Are you guys at
Absolutely.
100%? Hank's a foot freak at this point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
100%.
Just making sure
And
you guys weren't.
I think Mike
we're
Judge
right over
is
there.
too. Yeah.
That's Hill King's canon.
She's gonna drink from champagne from her big clog later.
Yes. So funny that Hank says, yeah, she's just some mopey gal with big feet who lives in my house. Absolutely savage. Dale
and this is where the guys suggest that Hank needs to be spontaneous.
Yes, he needs to pitch some woo. Bill, the Boomhauer is going to immediately go into. He says, "So what you do? You take some of that Saran wrap and some whipped cream."
Yeah.
And
in the
immediately
deleted
gets cut off.
Deleted.
There is an alternate line for Boomhauer where he says something about how they should go skinny dipping.
Oh, interesting.
He's like, oh, dang old skinny dipping.
I looked into what Boomhauer was talking about with the Saran wrap and the whipped cream, and Reddit has already got it figured out. I did. It's
doing, step bro?
If you know anything about how to grapefruit your man, it's similar.
I need that soundbite.
Yeah.
Now that's a soundbite.
So yeah, Boomhauer gets cut off. Bill is going to suggest, he says he saw this movie where there was a pig that got into the house and the couple just ran and laughed and cried and fell on each other and giggled, and it was so sweet. Bill gets a tear in his eye because Bill is always heartbroken. And anytime anybody brings up anything romantic, Bill cries.
Was this a real movie? Did you look into this?
I did. I tried to. And I think the internet is getting the joke with this whole pig thing, I believe, because it's going to come up, is they're getting two movies confused. The movie that Bill is kind of thinking about that is very sweet is a romantic comedy called Annie Hill. It's a Woody Allen movie with Diane Keaton. Came out in 1977. It's kind of a cult classic rom-com. There's a scene with some lobsters, which I think is what Bill is describing. And I believe he's also maybe getting it confused with a Belgian avant-garde art film called The Wedding Trough. It's a movie where a man falls in. It's actually not a very, I've looked it up. Nephews, if you want to look up this movie, The Wedding Trough.
All right. Brad, hit me with that deleted.
Oh,
deleted
right now.
Deleted.
Because I got hot news coming in.
Oh
Chris.
shit!
Oh,
I think you're wrong, Chris. I just looked it up too. Did you find the actual movie?
No, I did not.
It looks like it's a movie. It's like a British movie called A Private Function.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well. And let me tell you about Private Function.
Get his ass, dude.
Damn. Okay, I do not want to talk about the movie I looked up.
If you Google it, well, first of all, it's like British.
What's it called? The Private Affair?
Comedies?
A private,
but a private function, and it has it stars Professor McGonagall.
Yeah, Maggie
IRL.
Smith.
Oh my gosh, MILF.
And it has a lot of other Harry Potters in it. But the trailer, if you watch the trailer, it looks like one of the boringest movies ever made.
It is British, and it was made in the 80s.
But I can't imagine like Bill sitting down to watch this is my thing.
I could see him. I could see Bill watching a rom-com.
But
no, it's probably this one.
I guess it takes place during the Great Famine in Britain, and there is a scene where a couple chases a pig around.
Okay, that's definitely the one then.
Did you guys originally think it was just Bill, maybe something he did with Lenore once?
I thought he had like watched gay porn or something.
Yeah,
that's what I wrote in my notes. Like, was Will watching some sort of weird porn? But
yeah, I was definitely wrong about what I thought it was.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow,
Dang.
brother.
Two for three.
I just assumed he had done that with Lenore. Like, actually, they chased a pig, and it was like a memory from his life because he was like crying at the end.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh, that's hard."
Just a
He was trying to
sentimental guy.
share a story, but he didn't want to like come out and say it was just about his sad life.
Yeah. So apparently that movie. Hank is going to try to hit Peggy with some chivalrous romantic gestures. He is on the back porch. He's going to spray water on the ground and call Peggy outside. And he's going to say like, "Oh, wait, before you step over that puddle, let me lay this jacket down
Just so
for you to
ham-fisted,
cross."
man. Such a bad
Bad
Riz. L Riz, Hank, you know?
bad Riz. And Peggy is going to call him out and say, like, "Isn't the jacket that I made you? You said it was stolen by gangs because it was the wrong color."
And then Lady Bird comes and lays on it.
Yeah, Lady
She
Bird
just
lays
goes
on it.
inside.
She's
So
just so
funny.
pissed. The next scene, Hank is going to Peggy is at the sink washing dishes, and Hank is going to come up behind her and say like, "Guess who?" And he has gasoline on his hands.
He rubs
Peggy's like,
gas on her
gas
face and
and
then
tar.
waterboards her. He fully
Yes.
waterboards her.
He's like, "Let's have a splash fight," and she's like, "My eyes are burning," because he was cleaning tar off the driveway. Another L Riz. So Peggy's typing on the computer, and Hank lets a pig into the house, which Peggy does not find very funny. Hank is going to come in and really ham it up and be like, "Whoa, it's a pig in the house. This is so crazy
Let's
and fun.
catch it.
Let's catch the pig. You try to, I'll grab it and you take the bow off its neck.
Like, why the
it'll be
fuck is
fun."
there a pig in the house?
Yeah, and then from
What do you? What do you even have that titled as?
Did you guys know that pigs orgasm for 30 minutes straight?
what?
That was the
Does-
sound of a pig
Oh
orgasm.
man!
You find that
You
out
have the full-
firsthand?
I
You have
learned
the
that
full
I learned
30-minute
that
clip?
from a podcast, actually, one of my favorite podcasts, Hey Riddle Riddle.
What?
And they pretty consistently play a soundbite of a pig orgasm. And apparently their orgasms last for 30 plus minutes.
Ah,
That's a
What a
fun
life.
fact
Dudes
for you.
and gals, Brad. Dudes and gals.
No, just the guys.
oh,
Just the boys.
This is
But anyway, yeah.
steady stream
Yeah.
for 30.
Hank lets
30
a
straight.
pig in. Hopefully it's not a male pig because it'll jizz
Yeah.
for 30 minutes.
off screen, we just hear Bobby say it. "Mom, Dad, there's a pig in the house." So we cut into the class, or no, we cut over to Bobby's room. And yeah, he's it's Valentine's night here. And oh no, wait, did I skip it? Did I? Oh my gosh.
No.
The fart noise
My
again.
wife.
Oh no, we
Oh.
didn't. Okay, save your farts. All of the guys in the class are in Bobby's room, waiting for Bobby's Valentine to show up because everyone is convinced
Yeah.
that it's Carrie Strug.
They like
Um,
to watch.
And I didn't catch that line about Connie not being here, Brad.
Yeah. Bobby was like, Connie should be here. She would want to see this.
Yeah,
And that's when I was like, okay, Connie's not there because it's gonna be Connie, right?
it's going to be Connie.
But-
He tells all the guys to go in the closet and don't play with the dry cleaning bag. You could suffocate yourself,
That's really good.
which is
the more you know, right?
very funny. Funny that that's been told to Bobby. So voice comes off screen. Yep. Bobby, your date's here, and the door opens, and it is Peggy's mom. It's Bobby's grandma, which gets lots of laughs from all the class guys, and we get us a nice Dooley line.
moment. Yep.
Dooley line this episode, like,
I knew you guys would like that.
"Your grandmother loves
Grandma
you."
Loves you.
Fucking sick burn, dude.
A very sweet Dooley line this time,
Yeah.
actually. Okay, now we cut to the Boggle table.
Mhm.
With Nancy and some random town ladies. I don't think we've seen these random townies before.
Yeah.
But Peggy is just kind of venting and starts to talk about everything that Hank has done, and the gals are actually kind of gassing her up, saying it's all very sweet. And Peggy eventually talks herself back into being in love with Hank here.
Yeah, she realizes that she was overreacting, as many women do,
and
as
every
women are wont to do. Am I right, guys? Right? We all agree women are emotional and they overreact, you know? Right, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, hit that pig sound again.
That's for you, Brad. You pig.
Yeah.
So Peggy eventually talks herself, back into seeing how sweet and romantic Hank actually is in all the small things that he does for her. Peggy is going to ask to borrow Nancy's cell phone. She's going to call Hank, and the girls are just going to walk out, and Peggy is going to keep Nancy's cell phone, which I thought was very funny.
Because she needs it to sext her man.
She needs it to have phone sex with Hank again about what she's made for dinner, which I think is very interesting about Peggy's cooking and their romantic life, in that it seems to be better whenever it's not actually them together,
whenever Peggy's not actually cooking
or having actual sex with Hank.
It's their kink, man.
But what is this one?
He's going for the pig, but he chose gentle rain.
Oh, there it is.
That was just a video of two pigs fucking.
So yeah, Peggy.
This is my work computer. Don't tell anyone.
Peggy.
Why are there so many tabs open we can see? How many pig videos did you
Pig sex number 1, pig sex number 2.
We've had a lot of fun here tonight, but at American Ostrich Farms, we do not condone.
No,
what are you doing, step pig?
They do.
We're gonna finish out here with Peggy and Hank having phone dinner sex, saying that the beef Wellington is my favorite. She's got some cherry pie here too, and there's some Chuck Mangione playing in the background here. Did you look into this Chuck Mangione at all?
She does say to the ladies that Hank got himself drunk and sang her a Chuck Mangione song as an apology as well. Yeah.
That it was their song.
It
so
is
I'm
their
assuming
song.
that is the song that's playing is likely the Chuck Mangione song in question.
The Chuck Mangione song in question that is playing is a song that Chuck Mangione named after all of his work with King of the Hill. The name of the song playing is Peggy Hill. There is a Chuck Mangione song called Peggy Hill. For the nephews that don't know, Chuck Mangione is a real jazz trumpeter and flugelhornist. He plays himself. The costume that we don't see him in this episode, but the costume that we typically see him in is from one of his album covers. And yeah, he named a song Peggy Hill, and the song that you actually hear most, the Chuck Mangione song playing, is "Feels So Good," which is a song of his. We maybe edit in.
Can you explain to the nephews what a flugelhorn is? Because it sounded real Dr. Seussy.
It's like a type of big trumpet. It's like a bassier trumpet, or
I'll put a picture of it up on the screen.
It's like
here,
a bigger trumpet.
Hook the nephews up that. Although after all these pig noises, I don't know if the boys will be nephews.
They have a really specific sound.
All of our
like
listeners should be gone by now. Oh, that's the flugelhorn. So that's where our episode ends. We do have a post-credit scene, though.
I missed it. Oh wait, no, I saw it. It's the chasing the pig.
Yeah, it's the post-credit scene. Peggy's mom is going to be chasing the pig around the house. She says, "Pig in the house. It's crazy. It's fun." From off screen at the end, Peggy is like, "Mother, do not pick that pig up. Leave the pig on the ground." And the last thing we hear is Luann saying, "Am I supposed to kill this pig?"
And butcher it like she did with the cow.
So funny.
Earlier on. Yeah. Excellent.
And that's it.
I was sad to see Grandma using contractions, though.
Yeah.
Her own role multiple times.
Yeah.
3 times in a row.
It's crazy.
Well,
it's
in
fun.
her older years, she's kind of softened, as many people do. But that's it. We did it, brothers. Should we
we
just
step
jump
into the
right
alley?
into the alley here?
All right.
I'm gonna buy you a drink.
All right. The segment of the show where we step out back and we pound a few brewskis, giving the episode a rating out of 6 Alamo beers. How are you guys feeling about this one? I like this episode a lot. I thought it was very well written.
I did like this one a lot. I don't know if it's exactly top tier. I did think it was very cute, very fun. For me, it's 4 or 6.
4. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Pretty high.
I think that's low.
Oh,
I think I'm giving this one a 6er.
Oh, 6 for Bradley.
Yeah. I thought this was a very well-written episode. I thought that all of the plot lines tied together extremely well, just kind of the theme of Valentine's Day running through the bish. I thought that the flashback to Peggy's mom and then bringing Peggy's mom back as the secret admirer was very smart, and maybe like the best little kind of little bow at the end of this episode. Love a flashback, tons of good jokes. We got a little bit of everybody. Good guest stars. It checked all the boxes for me. I'm going 6. How you feeling, Kyle?
That's pretty good. I think because you guys are the experts, you can have better examples of beers than I did. So what I did was I watched 6 curated episodes from different ratings on IMDb to try to classify what a beer
you triangulated,
what a 1 beer episode was,
Wow,
what a 6
very
beer
scientific.
episode.
He's a doctor.
I was
folks.
going in.
We forced him to watch 6 episodes of a cartoon.
I watched. I had to break up my other cartoon times. So based on those, I put it in around. I'm closer to Chris than Brad. I think I was at like 3.5. But I'm gonna also grab a sausage dog when I'm going in the cooler.
A sausage dog. All right,
So
3.5.
I'm gonna have some Alma beer, and then I'm gonna.
Sausage.
It's because there's sausages in the belly too.
All right, yeah. Make sure you use code HillKings at checkout when you order that sausage dog. Was your rating strategy basically like watch some episodes that are low rated and some that are high rated just to get like a reference point?
Yeah. So what I did was, because IMDb has all of them ranked, like based on viewers' reviews. And if you break up those reviews into like sections of 40, in theory, you listen to one from the top 40, that's their 6 beer, next 40, 5 beer, whatever. So I did the number 1 episode. I did like the number 45 and then went down there until the very end.
Wow.
But those were all great. Smart
man.
It's a fun way to watch. I'd recommend get yourself a 6-pack of episodes and introduce someone to the show that way. I thought it was pretty fun.
Wow. All right. So 3.5 plus a sausage for you, 4 for Crispy, and I guess I'm a bit of a.
I'll open another beer, but I probably won't finish it. I will go up to 4.5. I think just for the sheer writing of it alone. I do agree it was very tight. There wasn't a lot of loose end.
Can I interest you in a sausage dog to go with it?
If you've got the grill hot, yeah.
Oh yeah, grill's hot. It's actually what I was doing before this. No joke. I was assembling a grill.
Oh yeah, because you got a shindig later, huh?
Yeah.
You're playing tonsil hockey with the boys, right?
Yeah, the boys are gonna come over. We're all gonna get mono. We're gonna orgasm for 30 minutes, and we're gonna lick each other's buttholes. Should we do
in the sun?
Our final? Yeah, we're gonna perennial sun, and then lick off the sunscreen. Should we do our final segment now?
Yes.
All right.
God dang it, Bobby. God dang it, Bobby. God dang it. God dang it, Bobby. God dang it, Bobby. God dang it. God dang it, Bobby. God dang it, Bobby. God dang it. God dang it, Bobby. God dang it, Bobby. God dang it, Bobby. 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 Bobby.
Oh, this is the titular segment. We're getting titular with them now. This is the Hill King segment of the show where we crown our MVP of the episode. Who wants to kick her off? Do we let our guest crown the first king, Chris?
I think so.
All right, who
Unless
you got?
he's still stalling.
Who you got, brother
Oh,
man?
this is tough. This is tough because
I agree. This was a tough choice.
Because there was times when I wanted it to be the secretary because she drove the entire A plot with what she
True,
did.
That's a good point.
And then she even came back and gave Peggy the second motivation to keep going. But then I love Bobby in it. And then I know you guys aren't always Hank fans, but I don't think he's tried harder to do anything
That is
right
true.
than what
I've
he did
turned
in this
around
episode.
on Hank this season. I think this season I have crowned Hank as my Hill King like
Couple
7 or 8
times.
times
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah, I've so there was even a Hank there. And I love Nancy had the best line. How about with all that thought going out there, y'all go and see if any of your arguments sway me.
Yeah.
I'm going with Carrie Strug.
You're taking Strug?
I'm struggling over here.
Well, I will take the other part to that sandwich, and I'm taking Bobby.
Bobby
I
boy.
loved his delusion was so sweet, and we're kind of in the point still where Bobby, he hasn't quite reached a romantic maturity, and so his idea of what his Valentine is just, he gives her a rose, she gives him a chocolate. It's just very sweet.
Very prepubescent sweet.
I also like how his delusion to liking her was definitely tied to like, you saw a pretty girl on TV and she did something very impactful, and so like that is like your sweetheart type of thing. I thought Bobby was great this episode.
I can relate to that, having a big crush on a celebrity.
On Carrie Strug.
Yeah, specifically on Carrie Strug.
Wow.
All right.
I think I'll lean toward Chris too on the Bobby thinking, just from when he looked at the flag and got choked up and he was like, just kept going. Like that was, very organic from him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the scene of him making the Valentine for Joseph was really cute. It was like, he is hot stuff. Haven't you seen him on a skateboard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll give it to Bobby.
Double
Bobby.
You love to hear it.
I do like your notion of Beth the secretary. She wasn't, she was in 2 scenes, but she was a real gossipy, snoopy lady, and she did kind of push the ball down the hill.
I almost went with Amy Edlin, honestly. If you did Carrie Strug, I would have gone with Edlin.
I thought
vixen, a little.
I thought about her.
I've been saving this, and you can edit out if you want, but I'm pretty sure the secretary's name was Becky.
Not Beth.
Dude,
Beck.
This is the second time that you've gotten completely corrected and cucked on your own podcast, brother. He's big brothering your ass right now.
I'm so sorry, Chris. I'm so sorry.
How does it feel?
It just hurt me so much.
We used to kiss, and now he slaps me verbally.
Yeah. It started out with a kiss. How did it
end up like this?
I'm telling Mom that you're being mean to me on my podcast.
This is my podcast.
Yeah, Chris.
It's Brad's.
I think you're being
Mom
replaced.
that I froed up too. Mom that I froed up all over the place.
I honestly didn't think Hank could have been the king this episode, strictly because I don't think he really did too much he never apologized really for lying to Peggy for all those years.
And all
she
of his
kind of let him off the hook.
Yeah. All of his efforts did suck, and Peggy definitely shouldn't have forgiven him.
Yeah. I don't
know. My only thinking was like throughout the show, like Hank rarely, makes an effort, makes amends, tries to do things. He was doing like 5 things here. He was at least doing stuff.
Yeah, but it wasn't good, which is why he's not the king for me,
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I didn't give him the king.
I know.
Chris,
I'm
I
just
know
saying.
you gotta take some shots now.
No.
Because I went after you twice.
If there were any nephews who even considered Hank for this episode, sit down. I'm passing the scourge on. I'm being bullied by my brother, so now I'm bullying the nephews.
Yeah.
If you thought it was Hank this episode, you're wrong.
You take it out on others.
If you thought it was
Sweet
Luann,
Benny
you're
in the
kind of
backseat.
right.
Well, it's always right if you choose Luann. And I will choose Luann at some point this season. I haven't yet, which is kind of insane. But that'll do it for the Hill King segment. And that will actually do it for this episode, y'all. Thanks for coming on, brother man.
Man,
thanks,
first
Kyle.
Family
Thanks, Keichel.
guest.
I had to
call him.
remind myself to talk. It was just like listening to the podcast. I was just sitting there like, man, this is great.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Were you a little starstruck a little bit?
Yeah, they say never meet your heroes.
Never meet your ostrich.
And I will do whatever I can to help you guys get sponsored by American Ostrich Farms.
You got anything to plug, Kyle? You got anything you want to point the folks to? At Dr. H. Ardon on Instagram.
I don't even know what those
Check
are
it out.
called anymore. Yeah, if you can
I'll
Google
put
that's
some
what
links.
PT said.
I'll put some links
That's
in the
hilarious.
description for you. Go check them
As
out.
long as my current bosses don't find out about that, then we're fine.
Yep.
Or our wives.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. Luckily, my wife does not watch this show, so I can say whatever I want, and I can talk about pigs coming all day. Yes.
We'll see you next time, folks, for season 2, episode 15. 3 days of the condo, spelled KHANDO.
A con episode, and there is
con heavy sewed.
There is commentary on the DVD for this one, so I'll be coming with some juicy stuff. I hope. I'm excited to watch it, and I will be coming.
Bye.
We'll catch you next week. Go check us out. Subscribe on YouTube. Like the video on YouTube. If you are not watching on YouTube, you can if you want. But you can also look at This Week in Arlen on Instagram at Hill Kings Pod. Drop a follow there. Send us memes. We'll catch you next week, nephews. And you know how we always leave them. You know what we say at the end of every episode. Say it with me.
Would you like a sausage?
Ostriches for all.
Use code HillKings at AmericanOstrichFarms.com.
No.
He's out. He couldn't take it. He couldn't take that. Not working anymore.
Hill Kings Podcast.